Okay. Hi, this is Jason Borne from the Borne Report, Borne. There's no U but the USA, and there's no I in team. We're here for the Bennett Campaign for Change. We're here for, obviously, the recent passing of Charlie Kirk. The hyperbole going on around that, and, our thoughts and prayers are clearly with the family. Probably a bad day to have it, but it's never a bad day to have a stand-up comedian, Miss Batista. Is there anything positive in the news we can laugh about right now, or is it we just
There's not a lot of funny going on.
exactly? And
It's a cruel world out there right now. Yeah.
so in the campaign for change in California, we'll be addressing immigration, local rights, and I believe teacher raises. That's one of the bigger things for you. Can you explain to me how big a raise do you think they deserve, and would you make any changes as far as other changes to our education system?
Honestly, I think at least $40 an hour. I mean, these people, they not only go to school for a long time to prepare themselves as teachers, but to be in the life of a young person every day, it's like you're forming these people, you're forming the future generation. So just a little bit of a raise. I'm not asking to, buy them a Porsche, but just let them feel like they don't need to get a second job on top of their teaching job to just support themselves.
Well, how do you feel about year-long college or high school?
Year-long high school?
Like, you do a semester and then you do 3 weeks off, and then you do a semester and then you do 3 weeks off. You have the same amount of days off,
Right.
but instead of having them all during the summertime, because that was something done way back in the day when like a kid helped with the farm.
Right.
And so, they would need to be off during the harvest, and then they would start back, as winter came, But now that's not such an issue, and you got so many kids just pretty much dumping, just forgetting everything. I did the same thing when I was a kid. I spent the first half of the next year relearning everything I
Right.
forgot over the
Right.
summer. So, do you think that would be a more effective way to get the scores up, because a lot of this pay increases are attached to scores, and it's just so hard to get the scores up?
I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, mostly because the attention span of kids now is so short because of the phones and social media that maybe it would work better if they just had little breaks in between and continue the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I just are you a mom?
I'm not a mom. No.
Are you an aunt?
Yes, I'm.
Okay, I just how would that affect, because I guess everybody's sort of prepared to be off during summertime, but essentially, what if we had like block schedule? Like, okay, so you take typically 8 classes a year,
Right.
and so let's just take 2 classes and focus on 2 classes a semester, take 3 weeks off, and then go to 2 more classes, or maybe 4 and 4. But what I would like to see is we would create the California Department of Education and home economics, the economics of owning a home, of running a portfolio, of preparing for retirement, and essentially we would have a child minimum wage of $12.16 an hour, and the state would make up the difference to $18 an hour. We would be trying to get to $18 an hour. Right now it's $16.50, by essentially depositing that money into a 216K at Simplify Capital, and at that point, the kid would actually trade stocks and bonds and stuff in class, because I don't know what the future is going to be. I mean, it sounds like robots are doing everything better than we are.
So you're suggesting kids working while they're
No, I mean, there would be limits, like 8 hours a week during school weeks, and 35 hours a week during summertime or off time. But essentially, having a job is not a bad thing, even if it's a MIG job.
How young are we talking? Like 8 years old?
No, that's child labor force. No, we're not talking about child labor force. We're talking about if you can get a job at a grocery store, if you can get a paper route, if you can do something like that, I would give you a college credit.
Right.
And I would allow people in the state to hire you at $12.16, but they would have to you can't work so many hours. You got to be let out for school. They've got to provide, you know.
That doesn't sound bad because the way things are going, it's like AI is taking over, you know, Bitcoin. Who knows what's going to happen?
And the kid would get the same amount of money. It would just, some of it would be provided by the state. And essentially, this would replace FAFSA. You would actually be able to earn additional FAFSA to go to college because FAFSA doesn't cover college.
Right.
And, you know, does college even help anymore? I mean, if you go into an engineering degree, great. But if, you know, they treat all 4-year degrees exactly the same. And I think you should be able to test out, you know, while you're in high school, you know, test to go into medical school, test to go into, you know, the law, test to go into, you know, a master's program. And I think the way to get teacher raises is to allow the excellent student to get in these honors classes and to get to, because not everybody's, you know, you don't want any child left behind, but the way to get raises is to allow the excellent to move forward and sort of test out some of those years in college. And now you're not paying for so many years in college. And so you can pay high school teachers a little better.
Right.
Because it all comes from the same state pot, you know, I mean, that's an idea. It's certainly not a cure for everything. But we would teach romance classes and or Asian dialects. And that would be essentially Latin, the base of the word, and then French, English, Portuguese, Spanish, you know, and how those words relate to each other. And you would have to, well, you would get an extra credit for college, but if you passed a second language like other than English, you could get an English credit for college, and you could get a French credit or Spanish credit or whatever for college. I mean, that would just, you go into college with 2 credit, you know, with what, 4 credit hours or whatever. I mean, that's something.
That's not a bad idea at all because the way things are still happening is definitely obsolete, you know, because now you have like 19-year-olds that are making millions off of TikTok shop or something like that, like online, and they don't even need a degree. And then people that spend their 4 years getting a degree, they're working at McDonald's. So it's like there's definitely needs some correction happening.
And the only thing I can think of is sales, you know, and people that want to be sold to, or the people that you can sell to, they want to be talked to in their own language, whether it's Japanese or Korean or French or something like that. You know, it's the one skill where, you know, nobody wants tech support from a robot, and nobody wants to be sold in a language that's not their first language and by a robot. Nobody likes to be sold by a robot. You know, outside of that, I mean, they've got robots making hamburgers now. They got robots, you know, doing most of the surgeries, which is why I think medical, and another way to close the wage gap, I would pass a law that would essentially force all gynecologists within 3 years to be female. Because I think.
Oh yes, please.
God,
God,
isn't it creepy?
I went last month, and the guy kept wanting to give me a mammogram, and I was like, I just had one. Do not touch my boobs.
Yeah, it's
weird.
It seems like a profession that would attract creeps.
And old dude too is like, ew, get away.
It seems like a profession that would attract creeps, and it's a way to close a wage gap between delivering a baby and, you know, being a female doctor, you know, and I think maybe gynecologists are too specialized. I think there's a lot more to a woman. And if there were more women in that profession, I think you would have just a better overall sense of like how hormones affect mental health and things like this. I think a man is too easy for him to say, oh, she's manic or she's crazy or she's depressed. It's like, yeah, maybe you don't understand estrogen. Some days it's up, some days it's down.
There's so much going on, you know, like it's, and I hate to say that because I am strong, but we're different people.
Oh, yeah.
We're different. And
very different.
And, you know,
I just think the man doesn't understand.
They do not. We basically have like 2 good weeks out of the month where we function as full humans. The other 2 weeks is like hormones going crazy. And then the other week we're bleeding to death. Like it's a lot going on.
Exactly. That's, I mean, honestly, it's wild that we underestimate a creature that can bleed for a solid week and not die. It's like, how in the world do you think that you're smarter or more powerful than this creature? You're out of your fucking mind.
But also, men have obviously qualities to complement. We complement each other. You know what I mean?
So.
It's no one's better than anyone, but we're definitely different, you know.
So how do you feel about men and women's sports, the trans issue?
Oh boy,
Swing at it. Swing. I gotta hear it.
I'm sorry, but you know I am liberal and I'm a Democrat and I believe in the rainbow or whatever. But I also understand that we're different, and I don't care how many hormones you go through, how many changes you have in your mind. You're still a man in my eyes. You're gonna run faster.
I could not agree more. And it's
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, testosterone is a steroid. So I mean, give Marion Jones her medals back. Give Lance Armstrong all his French, Tour de France's back. It's you're on genetically a performance enhancing drug. It's a hormone, testosterone, that makes your muscles bigger, makes your bones denser, and estrogen has never been good for a bodybuilder or any athletic. In fact, just like you said, I mean, with your cramps and period and things of this nature, you probably miss a week's worth of training a month.
Perfect example. Today I wanted to open like a jar of like coleslaw or something. I couldn't. So I couldn't eat healthy because I'm not like a man. It's unbelievable, guys. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry. I still believe women, obviously, it's great, but also I understand that there's differences.
well, yeah, there's a mental agility to women that men lack.
Right. Emotional
because,
intelligence.
well, you can sense things like
intuition.
There's something to astrology. Do you believe there's something to astrology?
Yes.
I don't understand what the hell it is. I have an app that tells me what she's thinking, and it is right more than I am. And that is literally where I'm at. I got this co-star, and literally I'll date somebody and be like, co-star, help me.
I thought it's because I lived in LA too long, but there's something about it because this week's been crazy, and astrologers are like, the eclipse.
It will tell you what she's thinking
Yeah.
when you have no fucking clue. He'll tell her what she's thinking. It's like, I don't even know why I'm upset today. It's like, ask co-star, he'll tell you. The planets are probably fucking with you, honey.
Right.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Did you care?
Do you as a man feel any fluctuation during the month where you're like, that like it's a cycle of some sort, like, oh, this week I know I'm gonna feel like this because
testosterone is pretty even, and if you feel spikes like that, you need to go check. Get checked because men, like that's the one thing about testosterone. It's pretty regular. Now, it does have something to do with your temper. Like if you're an older guy, say I'm a president of a union, and so these older guys that all of a sudden they get their testosterone shots, these guys will have a spike because they're not producing it by themselves, and so all of a sudden they'll be like, yeah, I can do anything, I'm 25 again, and they feel like that, and they can't. It's like your joints aren't 25, and your bones aren't 25. Don't go out there, running your mouth too much at the bar because you'll get it. Yeah. But that's the only time if you're artificially on something and you're not taking it properly, from my understanding, there's real spikes in the male testosterone. I mean, it's a little higher in the mornings. It's a little higher after intercourse, obviously. But, other than that.
I was always jealous of that. I'm the oldest of 7 brothers, so I know how the male mind works in every stage. And I was always so jealous of the evenness of it all. Like, they were always like, once they got to 18, like that's how they were gonna be, Yeah. And I'm like, and I love being a woman. Don't get me wrong; it's beautiful, all the stuff, the butterflies, blah blah blah. But also, it's a capitalist world where they don't care about your feelings. So here you are, a freaking emotional being trying to compete with, someone that's not so emotional. So of course you're gonna not be even,
Yeah, absolutely. And whatever we can do to close the wage gap without being openly discriminatory, because I think that hurts women in the workplace too. Is if you're seen as like you're only here and you only got hired because you're a chick,
right?
They'll fuck with you, just
right.
like.
Right.
If you're seen as an affirmative action hire or something, it's like that's as far as you'll ever go.
Right.
And I get that sense from the community. What's your thoughts?
A perfect, well, yes, for sure. I mean, I just wanted to comment on this real quick. Perfect example. You've probably had like 3 of these, right?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had like 2 sips. My mind is gone. Like I can feel my brain like palpitating right now
I know,
from three
Monster.
sips of Monster.
Monster
Guys.
Energy,
This
guys.
is no
That is,
joke.
it's
Like,
no joke.
so, but I think again it affects me different because of the estrogen. I'm just like, oh, I'm tender, inside
I
or
love it.
whatever.
Hey,
What was the question you said that?
essentially, Ethan, what was the question? I've been asking so many questions.
Because if you don't want to be hired just to be a chick.
Oh yeah, well, like, do you experience in the workplace this sense that if you get a promotion, men don't feel like you've earned it, or
Oh my goodness! I
things of
mean,
this, or somebody that's white doesn't necessarily think you earned it because of being
the
bronze.
whole, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and being from the Dominican Republic, it's
Right.
with this current political climate. I mean, how are you? I can't receive that energy, right?
Right.
I need to learn from those who are not, or walk in different shoes. And so,
Right.
what if any of that do you feel these days, and what can we do to fix it or make it better?
Honestly, with the times, we're evolving and a lot more women are in power, as you know. But still, I do stand-up comedy, and still today, to the 2025, there's only one woman per show. I'm always the only woman in the green room, and I'm like, is this 1992? Like, women are funny now, let them in. But there's still like a stigma of where the male jobs are, like you are not welcome, and it's almost like a frat house kind of vibes, where it's like, oh, she's gonna know our secrets, and it's like, I don't care about I don't want to know your secrets, Timmy. I don't care what you did last summer. Like, you're not. But it's that thing of like, brotherhood, or like, oh, don't let her in because then she's gonna ruin, or I don't know.
And so is it just a green room and an unhealthy environment, or is it just what at a governmental level, like what could be done, if anything?
I think the whole thing you were talking about, the gynecologists being women, let's start with that. Let's start
Yeah.
with like jobs that are
Clearly should
clearly,
be women.
yes, let's start with that and giving them to women.
Referees and coaches and college should be women if
Yeah.
it's a woman's sport.
Yeah.
It's like having a man yell at a young woman
Yeah.
or a girl
Yeah.
to run harder, go faster, especially like gymnastics, something that's like 13, 14 years old, and you got some asshole, just coming down on your daughter. Like in Texas, you get shot doing that.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of places, a lot of very liberal places, you still got male coaches, and it's like after the Ali Rasmussen incident, I don't know how the hell there's a male trainer or a male coach in gymnastics still today, but there is, and it's just it makes no sense, and it seems like an easy law to pass, an easy rule to pass, and then now you've got more doctors and more athletic trainers and women controlling women's sports. If you can't close the wage gap completely, at least you can give them a safe place to play.
Yeah, and these are girls that are usually like half naked with their little swimsuits or whatever. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
all men are pervs, but if you have like salmon all the time around you.
I never understood that either. I mean, I
You
understand
know?
like at college age, but like when they're kids, let them wear what the wrestlers wear, okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's like down here.
Yeah.
I don't want to see some little girl's ass.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong? Why is he in a one piece?
She's not developed
serious?
yet. Like, she has no ass
Oh,
yet.
no.
you know?
I Joey Weather Blossom. I said, what the fuck is this? Like, why is she prancing around in a whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that is, leotard? I wouldn't let her leave the house like that. How the fuck is she performing in front of people?
Stretching and all kinds of.
As a minor,
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yep.
oh, and I feel the same way about these like where they dress the kid up and like have him perform and stuff,
Yeah.
like beauty pageants.
Beauty pageants. Oh my
weird
God.
stuff, because they have that in Texas all the time. I'm like,
That's so wrong. It's wrong.
not only is it wrong, but like, okay, they'll have like, because I feel the same way about trans men performing in front of like minor children. You can have your weird party, you can have your beliefs that are trans doesn't really bother me. It's feet people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Like, I feel like they're going to create a new STD. And
Which
feet
people?
Feet people, people that are into in the feet during sex.
Oh God!
Like,
Oh
you're
God!
like athletes.
I was a victim of that actually.
Oh, really?
Oh God!
Yeah,
When
those people
when
should
I
be.
was young.
They should be on a government list. Okay, those people are weird, right? Because that is literally.
What is up with those people? Why? Why feet?
They've got to be into something else, like something bad. If you're into feet do not belong in sex at all. It's feet people.
God.
And they're going to come up with something. You're going to have like tough acting on your balls and shit. It's going to have
So
some
you
kind
think
of crazy.
feet people are worse than trans people?
Way worse. Oh my God. Trans people don't bother anybody. I mean,
Yeah,
they really don't. Unless they're trying to play a guy's or like a girl sport and go in there and like dunk on a little girl. Your name was Kevin yesterday. Now it's Karen, and you cared about yourself, not about fairness, and you push a little girl down and kick her soccer ball, and like go out and control the locker room because like you're a dominant force. That's fucking nuts. It's like that's the one time that little girl's got a chance to come out of her shell.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to feel comfortable undressing in a locker room? I don't know what goes on in a girl's locker room. I doubt it's what goes on in a guy's locker room, but it's like everybody just kind of stands in the locker and dresses, undresses, and like if there's a gay guy or whatever, it's like who cares? But it's different when there's a man in a girl's locker room. Like, do you not think that that's going to attract creeps? Like, it's going to. Is
it true that they passed a law they're going to return the trans people that are in the female prisons to the male prisons?
Yeah, it's my understanding an executive order was passed, and Trump is pushing for legislation. And I think he's going to get that passed because it's just at some point, in the Marine Corps, they're separated. Men and boys don't train together. We don't because you could push the males harder. And it's not the girls' fault per se,
right.
But he's thinking about murdering pussy instead about murdering who I tell him to murder.
Right.
That is what the Marine Corps is. It is not anything else. Like, this is a critical area. We need to hold this. Send in the Army. This is a disgusting spot on my map, however. Send in the Marines. I want it to be disappeared. And they just it's an entirely different mentality. Like you don't. And I'm not saying females can't be Marines. We have some of the best Marines. We have all the lesbians. Because they just hate men at that level. They join just to shoot a man in the face. And so it's like I'll definitely get to do that in the Marine Corps. So
yeah. I thought I almost became a lesbian from all the hatred and the, opposition I got from the others, but I never did. I
literally can't understand why y'all are not, because
I know.
What is it about men other than we pay the check
No.
and we buy flowers and we tell you you're right all the time? Why on earth would you want to flop around on us? We're hairy, we stink.
It's science. It's
thank
science.
God
it's
for science.
Reproduction,
Thank God for your hormones confusing you, because there's no way y'all are not the fairest
No, you
sex.
guys are definitely evil. Like, since I was 11, like maybe 12, nothing
think
but
we're
bad
evil.
things to say. Like, well, not everyone, but a lot of you. Like, maybe 80% is kind of like questionable.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Oh, so you agree 80-20.
80-20,
So 20 is good. Okay.
Well, that, and then once, like in every society, like every mammal on the planet,
yeah.
there is a lot more females than males. And I think we've gotten to that part in our society to where we don't need one male for every female.
Yeah.
We just don't, because women don't need men. Some women get a cat or a girlfriend, or they have a fucking magic wand that can go like 18 hours and you can't. And so, and they make their own fucking money. So, like, why do they need a guy? I
ask myself that question all the time. Like, I'm independent. I have a dog. You've seen him. He's cute. But it's just, again, psychologically, I cannot be with a woman. I just can't be with someone that's the same.
Do you find it easier to be alone?
Of course. I mean, if you're peaceful with yourself and happy, but there's moments where you are lonely, or you not lonely, you want company. Like it's a
company,
human,
but not like a parasite that lives with you and just drains your life force away.
I mean, no one wants that. Hold on, are men that now? You're saying that all men?
No, it's like you're like a symbiote, but not really. Like if you make your own money and you're doing good, unless he's making more than you,
right?
Why are you?
So it's a money. It's a all economic.
It's not all economic. I don't know what you see in us physically. Personally, I don't find the male form attractive.
Are you gay?
No, I'm not.
So then you should.
I know, but like I don't. From a female perspective, I don't understand what y'all see as attractive with us.
Honestly, even a guy doesn't even need to be attractive. If he's wearing the right perfume, we'll be like, okay, I can see. It's
See,
so
it's
weird.
cleanliness. It's like, is he more like a chick than a dude? Does he smell good?
No,
and
I
then
do
his
not.
house is probably clean. And if his house is probably clean, I don't have to do so much work, and I don't have to be his mom.
I do not like feminine men. I had a
So
terrible
aggressive male.
experience. Not aggressive. Just manhood doesn't need to be aggressive to be strong.
Define what you particularly look for then.
I want a tree. I know that sounds.
tree.
I want someone that I can poke and not yell at, but I can argue, and he's not gonna argue back like a chick. Like most guys now, they're like, it's another woman. It's like I want a man that knows he's a man, and when I'm hormonal, he's gonna be like, let her have her moment. I want a tree, and they don't exist anymore. They're women. Men are now women. And I blame you guys because you didn't raise your kids in the 80s. You left for a pack of cigs, never came back. Now you have a bunch of women in 2025. Thank you. Thank you for the bell.
No, that's not bad. Like, honestly, thank you for, I think that's really good. Oh my God, I just learned something. I just learned something today, folks. That is, okay. A tree that doesn't leave. So.
Well, it's not like a dog. It's not like I want someone that's just, I want you to have your own feelings and your own emotions.
But after you're done having yours in your moment, right?
But it's a two-way street. I'm not gonna be like you can never be hormonal or whatever you are going through. But I'm saying don't become another chick in the conversation, please.
Because we're probably not gonna be on the same cycle even.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna pick up on the little stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you're at the Comedy Store coming up. What day?
Yes, I'm actually there tomorrow, 9 p.m. And then I'm always everywhere, the living room. There's a lot of different places that are opening up, and I'm just trying to get out there.
I mean, the Borne Report is about increasing your brand too. So,
Sweet.
Do you, do you have a stage name, or is it just?
I go as Cali Ka because I've noticed that when they introduce me with a Spanish last name, they're already expecting,
Yeah, well,
something.
Cali Ka tomorrow night, 9 p.m. at the Comedy Store. Get out there and see her, and we'll definitely try to have that short and clip up before the end of the day, so people can know that you're going to be performing. I'll be there.
Sweet.
And that's what we do. We support our guests here. We support our hosts. We are currently on a co-host search. We're trying to sort of market this to either Fox as a more news type show, or even to Comedy Central as more of a replacement to the Colbert Report, or be bit parts on the Riggle Report. You remember Rob Riggle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's already instantly marketable, and so I built him a show, and I built Jordan Klepper. Don't be a leper. With Jordan Klepper, how not to be a political pariah in 2025, 26. So we would start Indecision 2025 immediately. We would have a 128 person bracket. We'd have the Republicans for reasonable reform, and I would let whoever the number one seed was for the Democrats, sort of name their party. But essentially, the right has gone too far right. We've got this shooter with Charlie Kirk, and you've had a lot of violence with the left lately. But I don't think we need to remember that they're most school shooters, and are white males that usually lean Republican or probably very pro police and pro a lot of other things, and neo-Nazi-esque. And so we need to make sure that in the light of this horrible tragedy, we don't just blame one side or the other side. I think Charlie didn't do anything wrong. I think we've just gotten to a point to where we can't have a civil conversation and disagree about things without resorting to something that terrible. And so, as a country, we need to find a way to do that. So, once again, my heart goes out to the widow and her family, as well as Turning Point USA for losing such a great leader, founder, and spokesperson. And I'd love to come up there and continue, at least in part, that college tour. I think, ideally you would have a couple of conservatives and a liberal or something like that to try to tamp down things. And we would have shields, big shields, like the Pope Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you need to now.
yeah, and we would literally have that lined up from the car through the stage, and hopefully have the vets in my union carry them and sort of be a California Secret Service and or American Gendarmes Incorporated would get that contract, and hopefully, every time you give a job to a vet, you keep him from, maybe eating a bullet, because it's different when you're a vet and you don't have a job. It's just, it's a miserable thing. I mean, it was miserable for me. It's miserable for me right now, technically. I've got my pension. I'm not financially.
How long
off.
ago did you come back from?
Well, I mean, yeah, I was there the day that we were told to evacuate. And so, I mean, it got so bad. We came in and they were dragging these women out of their shops and just beating shit out of them. So we dusted them off and got the girls to the plane. And for the next 2 days, it was just women and children on the planes, women and children on the planes, and the males were not allowed on the planes, at least at our airport, on my, runway or whatever. And it got to the point to where we had to shoot the males because they were climbing off into the landing gear. Like, they were literally, like, climbing into have you ever seen Con Air?
Yeah.
Remember when the guy gets frozen in a landing gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, imagine like 4 or 5 of them. One of the planes didn't almost, like, it went to try to land, and there's like 3 or 4 guys that are stuck in a landing gear and they can't
So
get
you
it
had
out.
to kill him? You had to
Yeah.
shoot him? Oh my God.
I mean, they wouldn't. It's like, they disgusted me. It's like, how in the world did we fight for your freedom for 20 years and you're going to run from these pieces of shit? It's like,
Yeah.
we had a bid. American Foreign Legion Incorporated had a bid just to stay. It's like, we could have held Bagram, we could have held Kabul and Kandahar. I don't know about the rest of the fucking country, but we held those 2 big ass cities. And from there, I mean, you have the seat of the government. You just let women get elected. You protect them, and you have 30% of the government Marine. Just, I don't care if it's men or women. I don't give a shit. But essentially, they don't. They're conquered. They don't run their government. They don't allow them to pass a law that's Sharia law or in violation of like the UN charter. Essentially, you make them as close to the U.S. as possible, make them part of our empire, get them into NATO, and bring wealth to that place. It's the only way you fix it. Mm-hmm. And, keeping the males in charge over there when they were the problem, I never understood why we were siding with the Western Alliance. I never understood why we were doing the things we were doing. I mean, being indifferent to the heroin trade from time to time. Obama was about that, and I was like, why? Like, that's going to come back to bite us. That's the whole reason we're here. Osama bin Laden's one man. It's like he's probably dead in a cave somewhere. I definitely don't believe that the people that
really?
allegedly killed him killed Osama bin Laden.
You think he's still alive?
No, Osama bin Laden died in a cave. Like, and they just, Obama needed a win, I think. And, he really wanted out of Afghanistan. So if bin Laden's dead, and I think he was dead, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think SEAL Team 6 killed him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you think war will ever be over?
oh my God, no. What? What?
Well, why not?
Because there are too many males.
Yeah.
We should literally have a child tax on males. And
why do men want war so much? What's the big? Why? Like,
men don't necessarily want war. They just can't get along.
yeah.
And, it's at some point the only way to prevent something terrible. I mean, I know it sounds, we should all get along, but you can't get 100 people in one room to get along. You definitely can't get very opposite cultures like, Western democracies and, the Middle East, which believe the way the things that they believe, radicalized versus Islam, which not necessarily, worse than radical Christianity, which, made the Timothy McVeighs of the world and, made, you got, Mormons that, had these, weird hostels where they, were marrying like underage girls and stuff. So, I mean, every religion and every faith has their extremists. I don't want to just target Muslims, but at the same time, they seem to be very indifferent to the radical extremism in their own world. You know, they many places they still have these disciplined prisons where they send their women that won't obey their males.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know, I do agree with the Saudis not letting them drive. I think that's fucking.
That's so funny.
That's just,
Hey, I'm a good driver.
I'm sure you are.
I am. But I'm very rare. That's true. I'm a very rare form, you know. I had 7 brothers, so I almost had to, be good at it. Wow, you're a very cool conservative. I thought I was gonna be like, I hate, but I haven't hated you once yet.
Well, and that's
nice.
That's, I mean, the goal is to sew the country together, you know, not rip her apart. You know, we're the United States only if we make that effort to stay united, you know, and we can't be united on every issue, but we can be respectful of the other side. I think Charlie was more about that than people give him credit for. He went and he wanted to have these conversations, not to upset the radicals, but to point out how radicalized things have become.
Yeah.
Bring some common sense to the conversation. Try to win some people over to his side, clearly, but his side was, let's have a conversation about what we all agree right and wrong is, and if we don't agree, then we can disagree respectfully, not.
And they don't want that, and that's why that happened.
You know, my heart goes out to the widow.
That is an unfortunate situation. Is that true that people were marching, saying the white men fight back, something like that? Like what was going on?
It is possible because what we have is this critical race theory. And, you know, people coming up here flying foreign flags and talking about, you know, all white people are colonizers and Americans are colonizers and shit like that. That is creating neo-Nazis. And I keep telling people, it's like, they haven't got swastikas, but they're neo-Nazis. Mm-hmm. And I'm a Jew. Like, I can see it immediately. But it's like, wait a second. The white people are waking up. Let's just, right? And it's like, you look pretty white. It's like, yeah, I understand. I'm British American, fucker. But, you know, and French American. But, you know, and I don't have that much Semitic blood in me, if any. I probably a couple of drops. But my wife was Jewish, and the man that saved me was a Jew. I was a twin, and there was a 40% chance to save both kids at the egg split. And I was an 8-month baby. My brother was too. And I was the one they cut short. There was 40% chance to save us both, or an 80% chance to save one of us. And I just wouldn't quit breathing. And so a man named Benjamin Bennett adopted me and took me to Tel Aviv and got me the surgery that I needed and the stem cells I needed, and I lived. He was a Mason with my dad. And so, yeah, I literally probably should have been an abortion. One of us would have been 6'5", 6'7", with a first-round draft pick. You know, I have a twin, and we don't even talk most days because, I don't know, growing up, I sort of hated him, you know, because I always saw him as the reason I was a starting quarterback, you know, and he always saw me as the reason he wasn't smart because he's autistic. I tested out. And, you know, I think it was probably him not having the umbilical cord for 28 minutes. You know, it's, you know, he went 28 minutes longer than me without oxygen.
Oh, I see.
And so I don't think it's all autism. I think he's a little bit.
You think you'll ever talk?
Oh, you know, I mean, when he gets back from Israel, like he's doing his rotation. When we're out of work, we always try to find work in NATO, and you know, then there's a war in Israel, and you know, we're both.
You know why I think there's so much war too is because
Jewish.
like men are not allowed to express their feelings. It's not that they don't have them, but it's so suppressed like for generations that at this point it's just like an explosion, and it'll take so long for the thing to balance itself that maybe guys should be acting like women now. Maybe that's like the next thing for them to then go back to reality, you know, like.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
women don't act like reality exists. It's just it's my truth. It's
You know
it's
what?
the
No.
truth, and then it's my truth.
No,
Thank
I mean,
you
like-
for admitting it.
Like,
Thank
no,
you.
like, things
America,
have to-
you heard it.
No,
Thank you.
no, that's not what
right
I
here at the
said.
Borne
Hold
Report.
on.
Yes.
I just feel like it has to get worse for it to get even again. You know what I mean? So like men and trans and all this crazy stuff happening, so then we can go back to just normalcy again. You know?
I honestly, I could care less how that people express themselves. I literally think it's like the Jurassic Park theory. Like literally when the dinosaur, all right, there was no males. Some of them became male because life will find a way, right?
Yeah.
I think is now, and this happened during the Roman Empire and during the Greek Empire, when there's too much squalor, when there's too much homelessness, when there's too much sadness in the planet, you get more homosexuality, you get more trans. Essentially, Gaia is trying to convince us not to breed so much because we're burning the fucking planet up. That is literally what I think is happening.
Yeah.
That and societally, it's just marriage is a terrible contract. It's not what it used to be. People just get divorced more often, and if you're a guy, you lose the house, and if you're a girl, you lose your mind and your body because you have 2 kids for this piece of shit who didn't want to stick around in the first place. And so it's not a good deal for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
It sucks because as a woman, they almost like groom you since you're born to find Prince Charming, and you're like,
that guy doesn't exist.
And then you wake up, you're like, you're freaking 30.
You play house.
What happened?
Y'all play married when y'all like 5 or 6, and you
I
got Better
know.
Homes and Gardens and like the bride magazines and like just looking through the dresses.
It messes you up, man.
I'm gonna be Snow Queen Barbie, right? I'm gonna have a $40,000 dress. What the fuck is having the $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 wedding about?
Yeah.
Like I never understood that. Like
it's all bullshit. Just
you
for
should
the
spend that
pictures.
money on the fucking honeymoon
Yeah.
or the cruises. Like you should have like a 2-month honeymoon.
Yeah.
Because the rest of marriage is gonna suck.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna have kids. It's gonna be miserable. They're gonna look at you. They want you to feed them and fix their problems. Oh, I hate children.
Do you have kids?
No, thank God.
Are you'll never
Not a
reproduce?
biological one. No.
Really? Oh,
I mean,
adoption.
Well, I mean, at my age, I usually date a girl with a kid.
Oh,
I mean, it's just like everybody's got a kid at my age. You know what I'm saying? I turned 40 this year.
Oh, nice.
And so, unless, I don't know, they've been hiding this one or something.
Yeah.
If she's even, like, I can't believe you don't have kids.
I can't believe either. Like, I'm
just-
Dominican. What is this?
Yeah, exactly. You're usually.
I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized because when I was 26, I was pregnant and I was forced to have an abortion. And after that, it derailed my whole life and my mind and my soul. And I never had a boyfriend after that.
Okay, explain.
I'm traumatized.
Forced to have an abortion. Explain that one to me.
I was in New York City. I was alone, and the guy's family like set me in a room, and they were like, "This can't happen." And I was like, I could have been like, "Fuck you guys! I'm an independent woman. I'm raising this kid on my own." It was January. It was minus 20 degrees. I was like, I have no money. This kid is gonna suffer. So I went with that, and I did it, but I basically sacrificed my body and my mind, and I've never been the same after that.
But at least
became weird,
like, it's not stuck with a kid with a guy that doesn't want you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I didn't
that's-
want to bring a kid because I come from, a broken home. I didn't want to bring a kid. I always wanted to bring a kid in if I had like a partner and, financial stability and all that stuff. So
Did you know if it was a boy or girl yet?
no,
far did it get?
it was really early on.
Okay,
But
that's
it messed me up, like my body. Like I don't know how to explain. Like the hormone. I don't know. I just went crazy after that.
How did they?
I started drinking a lot. I started having sex randomly. It was bad for like a long time.
Huh, so you experienced sort of a postpartum after, even though you had the abortion. That's something.
It messed me up, and then after that, I can't trust. I can't let someone in like that. I feel like it's gonna just ruin my life again. Like what you said, a parasite is gonna just take me. It's not good.
This is the type of thing that
So I don't even know. That's why I told you I don't know where I stand where it comes to like the Roe v. Like I don't know if abortion is good for women or bad, or I don't even know anymore.
I definitely think the right to have one is necessary, and I think theoretically, even the male should have a right to.
And looking back, maybe I'm glad it didn't happen because that was the guy that started doing the Trump impersonation. So like, I don't want to have a kid with this guy. Like,
yeah, but you're still in love with this guy.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I hate that guy.
You hate him?
I don't hate him.
There you fucking go.
I don't hate him.
That's what it is.
I don't love him.
Thank
I do
you.
not.
She's
I just
the
can't
one that got away.
believe He made a career out of wearing a wig. It's so ridiculous. Like, and he calls it comedy. That's not. It's so stupid.
So
And
he's
he's
a
met
stand-up
Trump like 3 times, and Trump loves him.
He's a stand-up comedian too.
I guess he just goes on the street dressed as Trump and records
Does he live
himself.
out here?
New York.
New York.
But he's huge on TikTok.
What's
He's like kind of says a midget and everything.
I gotta hear this
just-
backstory. So when did y'all meet? When did you get pregnant?
We
And
were both comics. I mean, I've been a comedian since I was 21. Like,
So how old were you when you?
When that happened, I was 26. So it was 5 years.
Oh, okay.
in
So you
comedy.
were a woman. You were prepared to
I was
settle
ready.
down.
Yeah. Yes, my
Okay.
body was ready. My mind has never been more healthy. I was a vegetarian. I was clean. I was ready.
And we just figured, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know, we're gonna have a family.
Right. And he was like, no, I'm too young or whatever. He was like a year younger than me. He was like 25. But in guy years, you know, I guess he's younger. But that was so long ago. But I'm just mentioning that because I think that was a pivotal time where I just like, it broke me to the point where I'm like, damn, maybe I won't have any kids because I can't even have a boyfriend now. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean we're so are you on birth control now?
No.
No.
I don't need to be. I don't have that much action.
Well,
You know.
that's hard to believe. What type of birth control works the best as far as like not causing issues with
That's
the woman?
another thing. I never
Like
I could never
IUDs
be
or
on
the
it because it would
pills
drive
or-
me like
So
I would
the
go
birth control pills like mess your
I would go whole R&B crazy on people.
yeah, and that's
bad.
there's got to be a better way to do birth control for women
Yeah.
because when you start fucking with somebody's hormones, I know as a male, you know, when I feel like my testosterone is low or my, you know, whatever is low.
Why don't they invent like birth control for men? Like why can men suffer a little bit?
I
you know?
honest to God not only think that they could, but theoretically, I think that would be a worthwhile investment for the government
Yeah.
because I would not mind shooting blanks if I knew for a fact that, you know, before I,
You get to do it without a condom. I mean, come on.
you know, I try to use that because I don't want to catch.
Oh
God
yeah,
having
the other
syphilis.
stuff, right?
You know, you never know what's out there.
Jesus. Why is everything that's good comes with all this like?
I know, right?
Why? What is
Because
this?
it's somehow life's got to fuck us somehow,
I know,
right?
I
God's
know.
got to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And so it's like we're gonna make this really fun.
Yeah.
And 4% of the time, you're gonna catch something that you can never get rid of, and will
Yeah.
kill you eventually.
Yeah.
What?
Like food, you can't eat anything anymore. It's like what?
But 96% of the time, it's gonna be great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. That's God fucking with us. That's what it is. Ethan, can you give me another monster? I have to have another monster to do this show.
I had 3 sips. Mine's still full.
It's that effective, and yet, at this point,
Wow, this is very strong
I am
stuff.
simply monstered out and need more monster. Like some people are monstered out, they can't. Actually, I don't know if those people exist. I think either any color works. Orange sunshine, the one that wakes me up. That's the one.
How many monsters a day do you have?
I don't know, 4,
Wow.
maybe at least.
It's a good ad for Monster right here.
I mean,
4 or 5.
This is fantastic. Well, and then
I feel like I'm high. I have like 4
right?
sips.
That's how good it is. Get off of drugs and get on to Monster. That is where you need to be, kids.
So you can sleep at night? I'll probably sleep tonight. But yeah, I mean, I did a lot of therapy. I meditate. I'm like a self-help book, So
Yeah.
I think healed myself, but that's such a deep, like, then I've learned like the womb is such a interconnected with all of it, so if you fuck that up, it's like not only that, I was always so outspoken, and I feel like at that moment my voice was taken from me. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
be like, hey, this is my body, I'll do whatever. So it really traumatized me in a way where it took me years to even be myself again. I was just this shadow of a person.
You're traumatized by the relationship failing. I'm telling you, like this.
No.
You wanted to trap this guy with this kid.
No.
I'm telling you now,
No,
this guy is not even worth your time.
No, I
you
don't.
need to stop being traumatized. Get back out there.
Yeah, yeah.
How old are you?
Me? Oh God, I'm 35 now. I
You
look
don't
young.
even look it, yeah.
I look young. But I know I really don't feel any feelings about this guy. I just feel upset that I let so many years like go because of that. Like not because of him, but because it fucked me up. Like, and I was like, damn, I was in my room like crying for like 5 years. That's crazy. Like I could have been, out there and dealing with it in a different way. But
Yeah, but then you could be strapped down with a kid. You would be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You'd be changing diapers and miserable. And
there's always, negatives
mom
and
is a
positives,
being a mom is a terrible gig.
It's terrible, but it's. I think a woman.
Look
That's
at
the
you
only way
talking
they feel
yourself
love.
into it. Like,
Because I feel like that's the only condition of love.
It's terrible, but like it'll love you. If you grow it, it will love you. That's not true.
You don't love your mom?
No.
Really? What did she do? Bitch, no.
Yeah, they drew straws against me. Like literally.
She what?
My name is Jason, literally because Jason means healer, and his name was Matthew, her little gift from God.
Oh, she chose one of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, honestly, it's like we both did not get the same chance to live. It was like a 40% chance that either of us lived if they cut us in half.
Yeah.
Or if they cut me short, there's an 80% chance the bigger one will live. And so she did not make a bad call.
Yeah.
She should have just had an abortion, and one of us would have been 6'7". God would have taken him souls, and we'd have 8 months later we'd have put,
What's
one
the
of us would have
obsession
been.
with being tall? Like, man,
I would have been a first-round draft pick. I'd have been Drew Bledsoe, right? I'd have been fucking awesome.
Boy, here we go.
I'd have been America's quarterback. I'd have been fucking quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. All right.
But you have a brain.
So many fucking rings.
Not better than tallness, height.
I'd have had a better brain. Like, are you kidding me? They cut part of it off. There's a dent in my literal head.
Really?
Yeah. And if it wasn't for stem cells, I'd be dead. Like, it's the only real proof that I have a twin when he's not around. It's like we were literally connected by the head, in the womb. And I'm the one with the dent. They cut me short to, like,
that's a rare story.
Give him a better chance to live. It's some weird blood vessel or something, and it was not in the middle.
You should write a book. It's very interesting.
I probably will one day.
Yeah.
I'll probably have a ghostwriter because I'm way too fucking lazy to write a book, or chat GDP or something. But there's plenty of Hebrew writers out here that are not, doing anything right now. So if you want to write my book, call me. This has been a campaign for change. Jason Bennett's winner for this message. Also, I definitely don't want to do the writing. So, I never, ever, ever did like schoolwork. I didn't like book reports. I couldn't write a book about myself if I tried. I tried to keep a journal when I was young, and it drove me nuts. It's like, it was for a school assignment. It's like, write down what happened today. It's like, why? It's like,
I love writing. That's one of my things. I write pilots and all kinds of stuff.
What's something that you wrote lately? Because I try to do the same thing.
I wrote a modern version of I Love Lucy. I wrote a pilot where Lucy was Dominican, obviously, because I was, how the
So it's you're Rocky. You're going to try to write it and then like star in it.
Yeah. But if I'm too old, by the time I sell it, I'll book someone else. But how the guy was the Cuban and I Love Lucy and she was the straight. So the in this version, the guy is the all-American white dude and she's and the couple is the neighbors are younger, not older. So I made it cooler.
You gotta let me read this pilot.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay, I gotta read this.
Yeah.
This sounds good already.
Yeah.
And that was a very, very successful show. And remakes are doing well right now.
All
like
the
you
time.
should not.
Hollywood loves
You should
remakes.
promote that, girl.
Yeah,
oh my God!
Yeah,
I'll help you promote that.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I wrote one where like a new Matrix, the Matrix Origins, where essentially Morpheus was going to be played by Michael B. Jordan. Okay, he's young, and he's either a baseball player or a quarterback or something like that, and he gets hit, and he sees the Matrix. Like, he sees that everything's, like, fake. Like, something happens, like he gets nailed or something, and he, like, comes outside of his body. He sees that everything's just, bullshit. He wakes up in his cocoon or whatever, from the hit, and then he's back in the Matrix, and he can sort of see the future a little bit because everything's a computer program. And so the whole movie is essentially him trying to come to grips with he's got to take the red pill or whatever, because he's like, fuck this, I'm taking a blue pill. He's like, I'm gonna stay here. I can see the future. I'm God Almighty. Fuck this. I'm gonna stay in it. That looked lame. I was in a pool. Everybody sucked, and they're all trying to recruit him to make New Zion or whatever, and he's just like, I'm God in the Matrix. Why the fuck would I want to go live in a fucking shitty submarine and hide from the robots? Like, this sounds terrible, But essentially, it could be like a 3-movie thing where Lawrence Fishburne is actually telling the tale of how young him got recruited into doing what he's doing, and then, at the end, it's him and the Oracle sitting there, and she tells him, it's like, so I'm the one. It's like, no, you're the prophet. The one is the one is someone that only you can find. And then, now you can spin that into like more than one movie.
Yeah.
Or that goes straight into, Morpheus spending 20 years being an admiral or whatever, and then finally finding, Neo.
You make a treatment for that, or you wrote the whole
I made
script?
a treatment. I didn't, and ChatGPT has written a couple of different scripts. But like, what the thing is, they don't want you to write a script. They want you to write a treatment,
Right.
because the actor is like, well, that's not what my character would do.
Right.
And the studio's like, well, we have some thoughts, and so it's like you write the treatment, and then you hope for good things,
Right.
And you just try to get yourself invited to like badass parties or whatever,
Yeah.
And
That's the thing I'm lacking. I made the mistake of honing my craft. I didn't know Hollywood was the
it's
complete opposite
literally,
of that.
There's no craft.
They don't
It's
care
all,
about the craft.
all about who you know, who gives a fuck about what you think.
I can't believe I wasted 10 years being funny.
And kissing the ass of the right person.
God.
Because at the end of the day, they are making trash. They're making trash out there. And it's because they only trust the people that think like them.
Already in the circle, yeah.
I did sort of make my own Rocky. I made an Avengers movie where essentially Loki, Father Time, which is the god that outranks Thanos, Father Time finds Loki and hands him the glove.
Yeah.
It's like, you weren't, Thanos went too far with it. Life needs to be trimmed to exist. The humans will overpopulate. The planet will burn up, blah, blah. And now I've got the woke mob in on it because they're going to it's Disney or it's Marvel. They're going to do some woke bullshit, But essentially, me and my brother both play Marines in Iraq that died. And Loki, uses a time stone to wake us up. And we're like Thanos' offspring, essentially. That's why the egg split is because a human egg could not, hold that much, whatever. And so that's why there are two of us and blah, blah, blah. And we wind up being essentially his, henchmen. But, whether he gets stopped or not, I don't care. At the end of the, I got about halfway through that treatment, and I don't know, I kind of got stuck because, do you want him to win? Because he's sort of become almost an anti-hero, like a good guy.
Right.
And, now you've got Captain America's gone. You got the new Captain America guy.
Right.
Who's going to fight him? Because all the Avengers are getting too old. The Archer guy, he was in a snowmobile accident.
Right.
So you'd almost have to make it like X-Force or something, But even Ryan Reynolds is getting up there. I don't know if he wants to do Deadpool again.
I think if you write it and then let it breathe for a couple weeks and then go back to it, you eventually find the answers.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to you at the Comedy Store tomorrow at 9:00. Come see
Cali Ka
at the Comedy Store, 9 p.m. out here in Los Angeles, California. And that's it for the Borne Report. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next Thursday. Right.
Oh, that was nice.
That's a wrap. And so...
You barely said anything bad.